Thank you to our sponsors for partnering with us to bring you part 2 of this episode: Kee Hart Marketing, Relentless Digital, Forest Perry Marketing, Work with Your Hands, and Chirp. Learn more about them in the show notes below.
Welcome to Power Women of the Trades podcast. This show is all about breaking barriers and changing the game. Our guests will feature some of today's most successful female entrepreneurs and other advocates of our industry as well. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, female-led entrepreneurship drives change on multiple levels. We want to empower women in the trade industry like you so you can maximize your potential, stay balanced, achieve long-term success, and claim ownership over your life. Let's get started.
We have ads on TikTok too, right? Y'all,
Yeah.
I'm like, right? I'm looking at these two.
You're like, I think. I don't know.
Like the other day you said something about Pookie. I'm like, ooh, we run so much money behind Pookie. Like, put that dog out there.
Yeah, Pookie literally is our shop dog, the bulldog. And so everybody loves Pookie.
She's so
We
funny.
took her to the a Halloween event for the city, and she's like all over the place. Like everyone wanted to see her.
Oh, that's so
but
cute.
she's like famous, right?
How many TikToks do you guys put out like a week? How many do you do?
So for our clients, it's pretty low. We do like 2 to 3 a week, just depending. That's probably about what y'all do too. Like for my personal account, I can do 10 to 20. But
yeah, I was
also,
gonna say 2 or 3 a day.
Yeah, but you don't have to. That's the thing, is that you can put out 2 or 3 a week. And like their first Pookie video went viral. And so a lot of times if you
I
get
want to go see it.
if you get like that one viral video on TikTok, that's where you can grow. And then the same, like one of our clients had a video with over 1 million views on Facebook. And so then their Facebook blows up. And that's how you get like a whole bunch of followers.
Well, and then we'll have a video. So she takes all of our videos and then they go out everywhere on Reels and then TikTok. But then we've had one that did not very good on TikTok.
And then on
but
Instagram, it was blowing
it
up.
went viral on Instagram. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is the rhyme or reason behind that? I have no idea.
Well, that's why we post them on every platform, because even though like sometimes they blow up on YouTube or they blow up on whatever. And so it's like, might as well, you've already made the video, like might as well get as much out of it as you can.
Yeah.
Well, and I think Rita just messaged us about, or Jen, about the
YouTube.
one that went crazy on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know we had those on YouTube. Because there's so many avenues that people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my daughter, she's 7 or she's 8 now. I'm sorry, and she wanted TikTok forever, and we kept saying no. And TikTok does have like you can age it
The
down,
kids
right?
version.
And but she would be on YouTube Kids. Well, then I noticed that she's like scrolling because she can see reels on or whatever is on
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts, and she's like, "Can I not have TikTok because I basically have this?" And I'm like, oh, okay. So I literally do marketing 99% of my day with Kaylee or whatever, right? And I had no clue. So there's so many different things that each generation is looking at, And so Kaylee all the time, she points out, she's like, my parents are the homeowners and are the ones that are making decisions for the house, and they're on Facebook. They're not on Instagram and they're not on TikTok. But her mom points out all the time about our reel on Facebook, And so it's just good. Making sure that you share it everywhere. Oh, That's what I was going to say about Pookie when I got sidetracked. I never expected to sell water heaters or HVAC from TikTok because I wasn't sure. It's not like, TikTok shop is great and I always buy the shirts and I bought yesterday I was like, this is my cell phone charger from TikTok shop. But no one's going to be like, yep, let's buy a water heater. Right?
Absolutely.
However, showing what kind of company we are, talking about the dog. We've had people come in and they're like, to interview, and they're like, I see your TikToks. And I'm like, okay. And that's important because there's no other way to capture. I can tell you in an interview that it's a great place to work, but you really are not going to know.
Unless you see all your guys dancing.
I feel like it says something about you if you're like willing to let the company do this. They're like, at least they're like, forward thinking people that were playing around on social media.
Yeah.
And we're having fun because what else? We're all just out here surviving, right?
Yeah.
So I think yesterday when we were talking, you said something about Is this one of your first events to come to?
It is.
Yeah.
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 So, and you're like, I needed to do, I don't want to quote you, but you said something. I needed to do a big girl thing and step out of my comfort zone and come and do this event. And how's it been so far?
It's been great. So I turned 50 this year and, kind of maybe came face to face with reality and okay, Chloe, let's do this and let's figure this out. Let's grow up a little bit. Let's, again, put on your big girl pants and go do this stuff. Like,
did you come
run
alone?
A business? I came alone.
That's big.
I did. I came alone.
I travel with an entourage, Leslie says. So coming alone is a big deal because you really do have to step out of your comfort zone and be willing to just like meet people. And listen, everyone thinks I'm super extroverted, but I'm like an extroverted introvert. So I can talk, and then when I'm done, and I shut down, and then or I just don't talk at all. Like I have to kind of be in the group, so it is hard to just put yourself out there. It
is. I'm not shy. Like I'm not a wallflower. I will go out and talk to people. I have no problems really doing that, but it's scary.
It's still scary.
Yeah, it's still scary. It's like high school again, But I love that these women are. They're not high schoolers. Everyone is so nice. I mean, everyone is so nice and inviting. It's not like, oh, you're not in this group, so you can't talk to me.
I agree.
Oh, no.
I mean,
like
my husband's with me, but I'm
like
by myself here. And so it's like, even last night, I was thinking like, not last night, because last night was actually really nice, right? It felt very like comfortable. But even before, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, who am I going to talk to?
Well, okay, so last night we went to dinner, and I purposefully sat at a table. And this is just funny how we process things as women, okay? So you guys are both the same. You're by yourselves, and you're like, who am I going to talk to? What am I going to do? I have 3 people with me, right? Because that's my entourage, right? But I purposefully sat at a table in the lobby bar, knowing that I would run into people. And I kept seeing people and I'd wave. And then everyone messaged me and was like, I want to meet up with you or whatever. But
you had people with you.
But I had people with you.
Yeah.
Or did I look approachable? And I'm like, bro, those are that's my team. They're always going to be here. And so I just think it's like, just grab a chair and sit down.
Yeah.
And I always like my icebreaker is like, so what size is your air conditioner? And they're like, what? And no one knows the answer. They're like, what do you mean, tons? Or like, what? And it's just like random. It makes you laugh. Like, I don't know, but move on. But these events for me have been a huge piece of my success because I've been able to just like network and meet new people. And
that's what it is networking for me is I find that when we go on some like dealer vacations and stuff, and I'm sitting around at a table with couples, it's usually couples that go, and I start talking to people and it's like somebody that speaks my language.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Well, and that's a huge thing Leslie and I have always said is like when Leslie and I really like our relationship, our friendship became so much better whenever we were raw with each other. Because I'll never forget the time that I was like, this is the worst month. It was September of 22, and it was so bad. I remember sitting in my car at the stop sign by the office, and I just broke down and said, this is what's happening. And she was like, we just had the same month. And I'm like, why hasn't anyone said this?
Yeah.
When you're sitting at those tables, and they're willing to be raw. And now, so you have to be careful, though. And I always have a family meeting with my entourage when we get to an event, because I always say, you're going to meet a whole bunch of people. 75% of them are going to be full of shit. 25% are great. And at the women's events, it's the numbers are different. Okay. But at the women's event, mostly everyone's going to be great. Right. But at the events when everyone's together, there's a lot of numbers that are not true.
Like people just making things up.
They're making things up to sound better.
Yeah. And then it makes you sound bad or makes you feel bad.
And then you start
they
panicking.
Don't really know.
Yeah.
Like you get when I started with BDR, I was
that
like,
makes even more sense.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute, somebody's throwing these numbers out there and but is it apples to apples?
No.
Like, are we comparing the same thing?
And so you have to prepare your mind for that to not get into the comparison game, because a lot of times, and that's what I say, like, remember, 75% are full of it because they don't know. Or, one time I was like, and because I don't want to embarrass someone else when they're just like gloating about incorrect numbers, but I have pulled my team out of them after we had, dinner with this other company. We went and had another family meeting, and I'm like, let's do the math together. Okay. It doesn't make sense. Just alone, they told us their yearly revenue plus that one KPI. If that actually happened the way it did, their revenue would be 4 times what they told us for the year. And everyone's like, you're right. But we put up these things because we want to measure ourselves and against each other and make sure that we look great. And it's like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
The women's events, it's not like that. We're more concerned that you think I'm cute in my outfits. Okay. I mean, I hate to say that, but most of the time it's just like, am I okay? And I'm always like, do I smell okay? Does this look okay? Is this what? And you're just like, okay, so what do you do?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
No, go.
Well, you just made me think, because in the first speaker, the keynote, the very first thing that she said, and I wrote it down, was like, don't compare yourself to the person next to you. Just try to be better than you were the day before. And that, and like coming to a thing like this, anytime I go to any networking thing, because it's like, it takes your time, right? Like, so you're like essentially putting in a very finite resource into it. So it's like, I'm always going to get something out of it, whether it's like meet a new person or even get a better connection. Like, this is only my second time meeting Cassie. I get to meet you in real life, and it just makes a difference than the person that you're just meeting. And so if you can like go back and be like, okay, these are the things that I got out of that, and just focus on yourself and how you're getting better every day, it's much better than worrying about what someone else is doing. Because like you said, it's like apples to oranges. Like, it's not even the same.
It's not even the same. And then you can only, we've all seen that picture on Facebook of like, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 60.
I love that. I want to see that every single time I see it. I'm like, you're right. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah. Or whenever you see Jeff Bezos like setting out that chair or that
I know.
table,
that's the same meme where it says Amazon written on the
back, and it's like, looks like it's spray painted, and it's like Bezos like original desk. In his like,
it's like everybody
garage.
starts from square one.
And now he's like worth, but we, in the moments of the really hard days when the revenue is not there, or something didn't work right, or the customer's yelling at us for something that we tried really hard to fix, or whatever, you're just sitting there like, why am I always say, who gave me the keys to this building? Like, who said I could do this? And then, but you need the reminder. And so coming to these events, finding a group, to where when you have those really hard days, send us a message. Send someone you meet here a message and say, today freaking sucked, And when you're raw like that, the growth that you get from that is just crazy.
Yeah. Finding mentors and female mentors, really female, because there's a lot of men in this industry and I connect with them, but I think I connect more so with females.
I work with almost all women. Yeah. Which is
female mentors are really one of the main reasons, one of my main goals for this next couple of years. Like, I'm 50. I've been doing this for 17 years. I mean, I was answering the phone with babies hanging on to me. I remember once climbing into the shower to try close the bathroom door. The toddlers banging on the bathroom door, and I'm, hello, Leith Heating and Cooling, Chloe speaking. Can I help you?
Yeah.
And the customer is going, I can hear your child. It's okay. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I've gone through all of that, and talking to other women that know the same thing, have gone through the same thing, is so important. And finding what their pain points are. We're having a really hard time with this. What did you do? How do you fix this type of thing? It's really important to find that networking and mentor group, and that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
that's
for
what I'm
sure.
working on.
Well, reach out to me or Leslie anytime.
Thank you.
Reach out. I hope you find some great connections here.
I already follow you on Facebook.
I know. I was like, I went and looked. I'm like, we are friends. But Chloe, it's so great to have you on the show. We're excited to see the rest of this event play out. And then for anyone listening, just here's your weekly reminder to find you a networking group and find you mentors and resources and just someone to vent to sometimes.
And not compare yourself.
Do not compare
someone
yourself.
else's story.
Try to be better every day.
Every day. There's so many nuggets there for sure.
Yep.
All right.
This has been Power Women of the Trades. Like what you hear so far? Leave us a review at Apple. And make sure to listen to our other episodes wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.